Hi guys, it's Belle here and welcome back for part 2 of my creative design team project for the lovely Tracie folks using her Keep Creeping Portraits Digital. All links will be down below, so do check them out. And we are working on a tag booklet inspired by the concept or the idea of the marriage of John Barleycorn. If you do not know the myth or the history of John Barleycorn, sorry for that, then please do watch the first video if you have missed that, where I explain John Barleycorn and the whole kind of history and why my head went to myth of a marriage. So what I did off camera was I did all the stitching on all the tags. I then decided which tags were going to have which photos. So it's got all the stitching. I've also glued them down. You can see I've also stitched across the tops here. And I've glued them all the way down these three corners so that it is a pocket. Now we are going to finish the final one together, and then we're going to do a bit more. So again, lots of you will have done this, but just in case there's new people out there, I like to sort of show some tips and techniques. So obviously this has stitching inside, and we are going to be putting something in and out so that it could get caught on the stitching and pull at it and weaken the whole piece. So instead of that, just grab something like some sellotape, some masking tape. I'm going to use some washi. I know this is pretty washi, but it's also larger, and it's not something I use a lot, and I have a lot of it. So what I decided is to use this. Now you can add glue to your washi. This is sticky enough, and because of the project, I don't think I need it. And you'll just put your washi, your tape, whatever it is you're using over the stitching so that it just covers it, making it a smooth surface when you are putting whatever you're putting in and out of the pocket. I'm going to move that because it's going to keep getting caught. Just make sure it's rubbed and pressed down really firmly. It's great to use a bone folder or something for this. So we've got that one there. And you really are just making sure that all the stitching is covered and the area is smooth. When you are doing this, please think about any gluing you're going to do. Now, I'm going to glue the edges together just to keep them in place, but I am also going to be stitching all the way around mine. If you are not stitching all the way around, if you're just using a glue, please remember that tape and washi have a shiny and can have a glossy texture, making it a bit of an issue for certain glues to adhere to. So do keep that in mind when you're doing this. But as I said, I'm going to be stitching, so it's not something I am overtly bothered. I literally just want to stitch a very thin line so that it will keep it in place, one, while I'm working on it until I've stitched it together, and two, when it comes to actually stitching the piece, that I won't end up with tags all over the place. Now I have a lot of threads hanging. I find it easiest when I'm doing something like this to kind of have one edge flat to the table and then another edge, because you know then that they should be straight, rather than trying to do it, especially when I have a camera above my head. So yes, what I also did was I went around all the photos, not that one, but all the other photos. I've scuffed up the edges with my scissors, so I did have to do some re-inking. And then I used my crackle let me pull this one out. I used my crackle stamp with some black Stays On ink. I love this stamp. It is a Marianne Designs, and there is the number MM1628. And I just went around it to give a bit of a crackled thing and sort of scruffed it a little bit. So that's what I did. Now, before we get on to sewing it together, we are actually going to work on 2 more pieces that have to go in there. Now, I just want to show you this first. Sometimes when you're crafting, you just look at what you're using and it just makes, well, my little heart go, ah, I love it. And I was just looking at my little box of bits and bobs that I'm going to use, and all these yummy autumnal colours and pumpkins and leaves and mushrooms are just giving me all the warm in my tummy and heart and crafty heart feels, which is always a great joy. Now I need to find, where is it? I need to find one of the pieces we're going to work on. So I'll be back. Okay, so I found this in my stash. It's actually laminated, and it's these leaves. Now, I decided I kind of wanted to do some dried leaves. I need to, none of this is trimmed at all straight. I want to do some dried leaves. Okay, let's remember the size, 3.5. It's a bit shorter than 3.5 actually. Okay, well, that's okay, because we are actually going to do something else as well. So let's cut that down. And then I've got one of these. I want to do 2 dried leaves. And I want one of them just to be dried leaves, almost like a boutonniere that the men might wear to the wedding. And another one to be almost like, so we'll do with this one what I was thinking of doing with that one, I think. Almost like the lovely Sally Wheatsheaf. Almost like her bouquet, if she was going to have a bouquet. Seriously, I've got no, I feel like I've got no hairs on there, and yet it just seems to be picking up so many, which is super annoying. So I'm going to get some tea stain paper and just put it underneath, because I've got that on my table. So we're going to do that. I also need to actually, what I should have done before all this was trim this down, and then we'll work on the other one and we'll make it work, even though it's not quite the right what's it called? It's not quite the right kind of length, but we'll do some jigsawing because scarecrows. I know the last video was quite long, so, you know, I apologise for that. I don't know how long this video is going to be. So thank you if you watched all that. Yeah, it was quite long. All right then, in fact. Sorry. Okay, so let's get on with this then, shall we? So what I want to do is I want to make a topper for this. And I thought this piece would work well because it's already folded. So I want to make a topper. So we're going to cut this at 3.5, making sure not to cut the end that actually has, you know, the bit that was the whole reason we did it. And we're going to have it at about 2, I think. And then we're not going to do it yet. We're just going to, because this is exactly the right height. So we're going to glue this in here, which will give us this much to work with. I'm hoping this is about the right height. Let me check. So I have some dried flowers in this little tin. Some are actually my flowers that I've dried, and some are from a dried flowered pack that I had. So what I need to do is put that there. And this is some that I've dried. Okay, that'll fit just. Yeah, good, because I want that to be part of the base of Sally's bouquet. So that's what we're going to do. I mean, this will be stitched around again, but, you know. And again, if you're using transparencies or a laminator or anything like that, glue can smear. So I like to just go over it with my finger, or if you've got one of those silicone spreaders or something. I don't have one of those. I've been looking at them, but I don't know if I would want one. I don't know. Okay, and I'm going to put the other side already on here, making it a lot easier when we come to close it. And it means I'm not missing, not going, where's the other piece? Which is quite the possibility. So yeah, I'm just going to put that on there. Let me have a look. That's too far over. What on earth am I doing? That's better. Much, much better. Okay, then. And while we're at it, shall we just trim it? No, we'll do that in a minute. We'll have it closed before we trim it. Okay. So this will be seen from both sides, but I can't really help the fact that one of the sides is going to be prettier than the other. It's just what's going to happen. Yeah. But I wanted it to be, like I said, almost like Sally's bouquet, her wedding bouquet. I just got the idea when I thought about, let's have a bit of orange back there because there is some orange. Have a bit more yellow. When I saw the dried leaf, not the dried leaf, yeah, the one in the laminator that we're going to make for the guys, I just kind of thought, oh, that would work really well actually in here. And then that sent me down the whole, what's the word? The whole rabbit hole or idea of Sally's bouquet and John Barleycorn's. Don't know if I want any purple in there because we don't really have purple. John Barleycorn's, no, I don't like that. Buttoneer, sorry, is because my head is completely and utterly caught with the idea of working on this. So I do want it so that we can see different. Did I have another orange one? I did, but I used it there. Okay. Okay. That'll just have to be. Now, if I close this up, this is the problem. These get really static. Obviously, you can use, I bet I can't find it. You can use your little static pouch thing. Instead, I'm going to do this. There we go. Because I can't find my static pouch. And if I turn it over, you can see there's flowers on both sides, because obviously we are going to be able to see both sides as it's through the vellum. Now we're going to cut this. And this is a difficult one because I don't want to use any glue whatsoever on here right now, except the bit that we have at the top. This may need trimming, but that's okay. So there we have Sally's bouquet in her autumnal colours. Let's grab a large paper clip, which for some reason has this weird one on there. Okay, and then let's work, and it should be fine, but I just want to make sure that it is. let's work on this one. Now, we already know this is smaller than 3.5. What is it? It's just over 3. And it's obviously shorter too. Oh, do you know the other thing we didn't add on here? A patch. So I'm going to use this as my guide because this is the tag that I was using. And I'm wondering, I really do quite like that. So we could have that kind of down the edge folded over. So if I do that, then I roughly know where the fold needs to be. And then let's get my bone folder to really burnish that edge. And then let's just draw a line, although we are also going to have to do across the top as well, but that's okay. We will do both. And I want them matching exactly because, again, you're going to see it from both sides. So if it doesn't match exactly, there's going to be a strange edge on one of the sides, and that's not what I'm after. That would bother me intensely. So I think we're going to have this leaf in here. We are over quite a bit, but you know what? I don't mind because we've still got these two. So that would go like that. Let's bring this back so we can size up. Oh no, we can actually go further. Oh, yes, we can. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut this like so. And I'm already going to glue this on just so this is in place before we start with the come on, glue, before we start with the top one. So if you can hear that, my neighbours are back from holiday. There's a lot of shouting. So I'm just going to smush it like that and then open it quickly. Okay, and we have this to that edge. Perfect. Okay, and now we need a top. So I'm wondering, I have some little bits here. I do really love this one. I've used it quite a lot, but I do really love it. So, you know, let's do it. So this is here. This would go kind of to there, roughly here. I'm going to need to cut that edge too, roughly. We need to fold this. First, I'm going to fold it this way to where roughly that is. And then we're going to trim that bit. You might all be going, there's a much easier way of doing this, Belle. There might be, but this is how I do it. As I say often in this channel, why do it the easy way when you can do it the hard? I have to say that because that just seems to be my choice. Okay, so this is going to be here. So I'm actually going to hold that in place just ever so gently. And then this is going to come on here to there. That's what we like. Okay, we're just going to put some glue in here just to hold it in place for now. Come on, I really should get the other bottle of this. Hold on. Okay, I didn't want to fight with that glue on camera. So we did that. Anything that needs trimming, I can trim off when it comes to actually putting the tag booklet together. like so. Should have reinked those edges thinking about it. Didn't. Too late. Not too late there. But it kind of is what it is, I suppose. And I do need a little patch for the other one, but that's okay. Will this lift up? No. But we will be stitching it anyway. We'll be doing exactly the same as the others. I will stitch all around there. I will stitch this bit. So I just need something to make a little patchwork on here. And again, I'm just grabbing some scraps that I have. I've got that, I don't like that. Honestly, the scraps are falling everywhere, as is wont to do when it is moi. So I could have, hold on, here's some actual scraps. You can't even see what I'm looking at. See, that's quite a good scrap. I don't have to have the exact same scrap either side. Might put that one the other side. Okay, we'll do that. And actually, I thought they were going to have to be the same, but they're not going to have to be the same because you're not actually going to see them where they're going. So that's good. So we've got a bit of a wibbly wobbly one there. And then we can actually cut this one a bit straighter because I like the difference between it. It's just what I like. Okay, and we can put one on here. I actually might put the orange on this side because there's more orange in the flowers on the other side. I know it's so dark today, guys. I mean, I know I want autumn. I think that actually might have to be smaller. But it is super dark today. It was so bright yesterday. This only needs a little bit of glue because it will be stitched around. So we'll put that there. And you'll see what I mean when I turn it over. This orange brings in a bit more colour onto this side. But because there's already orange there, I actually want it to be... I can't find my black one. That's all right. We've got that. There you are. I want it to be a bit darker on this side. It's got the white edging anyway. So, yeah. And so we will... Okay, I just inked up the completely wrong side. What on earth, Belle? It's because I was thinking of the dark. I did think, oh, that looks a bit dark. But this has got just a pop of yellow in it that picks up this yellow. And then the browner and the green pick up the other colours in Miss Sally's, as she still is Miss at this moment, Miss Sally's bouquet. So I am going to go and stitch around those bits and I'll be back. Okay, guys, what I will say is don't do what I just did. If you're doing patchwork like me, I've been stitching around all the little bits of patchwork. And obviously, I couldn't stitch around this already on the tag because it would have gone through to the other side and vice versa. And they're two different sizes and things. Thankfully, I was able to pull this bit up and stitch around it. But this bit I had to replace, which is fine. But this is how the other one looks, which I really like. I haven't stitched around this yet because that will be done at the end. So now I'm thinking we need to start stitching this stuff together. That's what we need to start doing. So, and then we can work on it as we're doing it each. So where is... Here she is. We're doing, this is Sally. I need to always keep the other person. Now, obviously, there's a lot of threads. I'm leaving a lot of these threads, but, you know, We don't need them quite as long. So what I did was I pulled out some, and I've already torn it. This is some eco-dyed fabric with some leaves on it, which I just thought would work with the whole concept of this being an autumn based piece. So let's cut this to size 2, and I'm gonna actually do it on both sides, so it will be 2 pieces per side. So we need the other one, and I need to keep them in order because I don't want it getting all, oh, look at all the yummy threads. Now we're only going to leave the smallest little gap because it needs to be able to fold. This piece that I've ripped is only, I know some of you like measurements, I don't, but some of you do. This is literally 1 inch by 4.5 inches roughly, because I just need it on this bit. So I'm going to use a dab of glue. I'm going to get my other glue out, I think, on this side. Literally doesn't have to be much at all. I just need to keep them just a smidge apart. And then this is going to go on. I've frayed the edge a little bit. So this should be able to bend. So hopefully I might actually make it a bit bigger. Okay, we're going to do it that wide. That's what we're going to do. And then I'm going to just put it down the middle of the fabric as well. And then down here. I wanted to do this now before I start decorating, because then I can decorate on top of the fabric if I want to. You know, I can use it as a piece of decoration. Could probably have got away with it being even thinner. So it will bend like so. We have got excess. It will bend like so. This is a lot thicker, so I think I want to really shred that a bit more. Not shred, you know, fray. And then this way, like so. And I like the fact it's got the leaf pattern on there. Although now I'm looking and wondering if it would be better in smaller sections. But we've started, and I've got the glue on here, so I don't really want to take it back off. I mean, I could, but then we'd be left with a bit of glue. Like, because I'm just thinking in 2 little sections rather than the whole thing. Right, I think that's what I'm going to... Oh, no, I'm not going to do that because, look, I've just taken the paper off. All right, then, we are going to go with it this way. Come on. We're going to go with it this way. We're just going to go with it. We've started, so now we're going to finish. And I think next, I'm just going to attach the people where they should be. Next, I'm going to have, this is going to be a bit difficult. Let me hold it from the bottom. Next, I'm going to have her bouquet. That's what I'm going to do. Another little bit of fabric. I mean, realistically, I can just cut it. It's not really a problem, is it? So that's what we're going to do. This will be interesting because it's obviously going on to shiny. But this glue does work on this acetate stuff, which is why I use it. And thankfully, because this is going to be also stitched, it'll make sure it's nice and secure. Oh, I moved that a smidge. Let's move it back. Like so. Okay. And let's turn this. And you can see that's not straight at all, but thankfully I have time with this glue to kind of rearrange it a little bit before I need to start worrying. And I am going to be stitching this, so that will hold it in place too. Need to make sure these are also straight. Actually, that didn't look straight. Okay. Down the middle too. This can actually go over this way a little bit more because of the flowers. Although thinking about that, I need to think about where the actual bit is on the other side of there. If I have to trim this, I will before I stitch, so that's not a problem. Let's turn it over. And we have that one now. And let's just trim that off. Could we leave this till the end? Okay, so I'm going to do the rest and then I will come back. Okay guys, so I actually went in and trimmed some of these because I actually ended up making it smaller than it was, and I think that works better. And you can see, and the other side. So yeah, that's how it looks, and it should all fold up. I'm trying not to lose certain things. That really needs to be stuck down on there. It'll be fine because it's going to actually be stitched. So I am now going to go and stitch, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch down the sides, which will secure the fabric, along the bottom and up this side, and I'm going to do that on each piece, and then I will come back and show you that. Okay guys, so this is where I love stitching. Now, I understand not everyone has access to a sewing machine. Not everyone likes to use their sewing machine with paper products. I get that. But I did go in and trim down the first two pieces of fabric because I ended up making the other ones a lot thinner. You can see that, look. Oh, doesn't it look yummy? And when I always thought it looked a bit too bright. I think that was the problem. But as soon as I thinned the fabric down and then I added the stitching, guys, I mean, look, even with the dried flowers, how pretty does that look? There's threads everywhere. Some of these will be trimmed because, you know. And then here, let me show you that, like that really long one there, that needs trimming now. I just think because it's thinner and it's got stitching, let me show you the other side. Oh, Jack's best man is upside down. John's best man is upside down, rather. John Barleycorn's best man. Maybe he's been at the barley beer a bit early. And here. One of these flowers moved, but I actually quite like it down there. And here we have the leaves. So I just think the stitching really adds to that, guys. And I think, do you know what? I think we're going to leave it there today. I think we're going to come back tomorrow and we will start decorating. Oh, I just love it. I really do love it. The only issue is I didn't realise when I was doing this that, is it on there or the other side? These are quite similar papers. They're different enough and the fabric and stitching breaks it up, but there was that situation. But and well, we've got just orange check there. So that's it for today, guys. Like I said, if you're not going to use your sewing machine or don't have a sewing machine or don't like sewing, I would suggest using a really, really, really good fabric glue, so that you know that these edges are stuck. And yeah, I wouldn't suggest going in with that. I actually trimmed it down to about, sorry, I'm pulling that thread. Let me just see what I got it down to in the end. I got it down to just over ½ an inch, at a push 3/4 of an inch, and that worked really well. I love this dried flower. Look at how that works with the colors. I love it. So that's her bouquet, and here's his boutonniere. Really, he should have some straw in there, but I do have straw. I wasn't going to be able to laminate it flat enough to work in this project. So that's it for today, guys. Tomorrow's video, we will start decorating the front with all our goodies. I've die cut loads of things. I have Tim Holtz pieces in here. I have fussy cuts from scrapbooks and vellum stickers, and yeah, I think that's about it. All sorts of little bits and bobs, and we are going to decorate the front of these. So that's it for now. All links will be down below, like I said. Please do watch the first video if you haven't already, just to sort of understand who John Barleycorn is and what this is all about. And I will be back again soon. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, guys, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having lots and lots of crafty fun. Bye for now.